Thanks for listening to the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by my number one choice for a Thanksgiving feast, Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes Monday, December 2nd.
The Best of the KQ Morning Show.
I'm reading a poll. People asked if you've ever dined on roadkill. 6% said yes. That's it, only 6%. I thought I would be in the 94%. As far as I know, I've never dined on roadkill. But how do you know?
See, that's the thing. I may have, and I've told a story about the... would be the Chinese buffet. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Maybe I shouldn't. Down there in Prior Lake or Savage, right across from the Target down there off 42. We did the story. We're doing the story here that morning, and it was near my daughter's gymnastics gym. And so I would pick her up from gymnastics. We'd go over to the Chinese buffet, and good food had by all. But it turns out they were shut down because someone found deer legs sticking out of their garbage cans behind the restaurant.
Oh my God!
And it turns out that they were harvesting roadkill and putting it in the Chinese buffet. So I may have indeed eaten some teriyaki roadkill.
Yeah, you put a little tempura batter on there. You can eat just about anything.
Right? Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Eating in enough restaurants, or just going to certain friends' houses. You can't put anything past certain people. I had a buddy in when I was in college, and he had a ton of venison.
Yeah.
And he said that he shot this deer, but I don't know. Now that I look back, I'm like, hell, who knows?
As long as it was freshly harvested, but you don't know. With the roadkill, isn't a good roadkill. Sally's out in Montana. You can get a good burger there, but I don't think they serve roadkill. So
let me get this straight.
False advertising.
So here in Minnesota, if I come across a deer or anything that's been hit, I gotta call somebody and say, hey, I'm gonna bring this home with me now.
Get a hold of the DNR, or your local authority there, I guess, and they'll come out and they can get a hold of the DNR. I understand that they will come out and issue a permit so that you can, then harvest that roadkill, take it with you. I don't know if you get the hide and if there's a rack involved, depending on what it is, but I know you get the meat, I guess. I've not done it, but I know people who have right here in good old Minnesota.
So, okay, if I come across, I see a deer on the side of the road, and I'm like, hey, and then I get out and I say, I'm gonna take that bad boy home. What if someone else shows up and says, no, I want it?
So this just happened in Montana. I was reading about the story last week. There are a couple of guys out there. Now, out there, you can do the same thing that you can here in Minnesota. Out there, you have to contact Fish, Wildlife, and Parks as the local authority. And someone hit an elk, that delicious elk meat, a young cow. They decided they didn't want it. They drove off from it. And another pickup comes along, and he says, hey, this is a fresh kill of a cow. I'm going to claim this.
Right.
And so I don't know if at that point he had called in with a cell phone, but he's sitting there along the side of the road when another pickup rolls up with another Montanan, and he says, hey, did you hit that elk? And he goes, no, but I'm going to claim it. He said, it's not first come, first serve. That's not how it works. I'm going to claim the elk. And they both pulled out guns. Wait. Yeah. They both pulled out guns on the side of the road and shot each other. Did not kill each other. They're not that good a shot. Maybe that's why they don't have their own elk in the freezer. But they shot each other, both men wounded, went to the hospital. I wonder if they went to the same hospital like in Rocky, where just was right down the hallway and they're yelling at each other.
Right
Apollo and, I'll fight you again. But they shot each other, and neither one of them got the elk.
Well, hang on. If it's not first come, first served, then what is it?
I don't. It may be first come, first serve. But the guy that drove up,
it has to be first come, first serve.
No, it ain't.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the person that hits it. After that, it's whoever walks away from the gun. Fight on the side of the road. They got themselves in a little Montana standoff over elk meat.
Little meat.
It's awfully good.
I guess it would have to be. Now, an elk is even a small one. That's still a lot of animal.
That's hundreds of pounds of meat. If you just go out and harvest, I would say a young cow, you're probably still looking at, a 400 to 600 pound animal. Field dress it out. Take the meat away from it. You're going to have 100 pounds of good old quality elk at least.
So they couldn't share?
Got a grad party coming up.
Where's Ryder when we need you? Exactly. I'll take the front half, you take the back half.
Everything I know about field dressing large mammals, I learned from season 3 of Alone. One guy in the entire episode, I've only seen one person ever bring down a giant. It was like a moose or something. Right. It was just once. And I was like, finally. And man, A lot of work to get
That's
that meat home.
Yeah.
A lot of work. It's not deer, that's for sure. It's they're big animals, and depending on where you shoot them, it could take you days to get them out of there.
Also in this poll, by the way, it said 48% of people said they have been in a vehicle that has hit an animal. I mean, half of the people have experienced that. And I have. The two craziest things I ever hit in a car. One's a skunk, big, and I just kept going. You just don't want to be around that. And then, and this is not. It's just a true story. It's really bizarre. In my hometown, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, there's the Western State Mental Hospital. There's an asylum there, as they used to call it. Mm-hmm. And if you're from Kentucky and you say, if somebody says I'm from Hopkinsville, the answer is, they let you out because the sanitarium is there. Everyone's obviously crazy. And my brother and I were driving with my girlfriend in high school and my brother, the three of us in the car, and we're driving by the front gates of the hospital, and we saw what looked to be a woman in like a hospital gown, like from a distance. And we all made the joke of, she must have escaped. And as we got closer, we're like, that is like a patient. And she flung herself in front of our car.
Oh, no.
True story.
I mean...
And my brother avoided it, and she kind of rolled off the side.
Oh.
So we did hit her. She was not injured that we knew of.
Yeah. So you couldn't claim her?
Could not claim her. She kept going.
Wow.
The car behind us had to lock up his brakes, and then he barely hit her as well. And then all traffic stopped. And then we saw like these it was like a bad movie, actually, because then there's the two orderlies, and they're all wearing white, and just not the kind of people who should be running anywhere. Just too large, and they're like, "Where did she go?" They lost sight of her. And stuff. It was crazy. It's an entirely insane story, which I haven't thought about in years. And, now it's a kind of a weird memory.
No kidding. What?
On the KQ Talk and Text line 651-989-ROCK, feel free to weigh in. We got a call, Tony.
Our good friend John has a roadkill tale.
John, good morning, sir. What have you got for us?
Well, good morning.
What's up, brother?
We live in a rural community. I'm not going to expose the name of the community to protect the rest of the residents from what we used to do. But we used to had an old piece of crap pickup truck, and on the weekends we'd load up a cooler of beer and hit the back roads and see if we couldn't find ourselves a deer running across the road and nail it. And unfortunately, I never had luck. I always missed them for some odd reason. But I was at my brother-in-law's house in the fall time, around deer season, and he lived out in the country, and we heard a kind of little skid mark and a crash, and we go up to the top of the hill, and here's a car and a dead deer, and we asked the driver of the car if they wanted the deer, and he said no, so we called the game warden, and he came and tagged it for us, and we drove it down his driveway and hung it up in a tree and gutted it and skun it. About the time we were done skinning it, my sister came home with my nephew and a couple of his cousins. They'd just gone to the movie Bambi.
Oh, no.
Always a little scarred for life.
Yeah, there's Bambi's dad hanging right there, and they're all growed up like, all skunned.
But damn, that was a good deer.
Yeah, good. I mean, it depends where they hit them. If they really smuck them, you can lose a quarter there. It gets a little bruised, but yeah, why not? Good chow.
Yeah, we lost one of the front quarters, but the hinds were good, and the loins were still real tasty.
Nothing better than
the
Bambi.
loins.
Yeah.
All cooked up.
Fair enough.
So I got for you.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Wow.
First time I've ever heard anyone cop to like trying to hit deer.
Out on the back roads.
Load up some beer in the back and go out looking. See, that's the thing with deer. They know when you're looking for them. They're not the brightest animals,
only hit them when only hit them when you're trying not to. Well, that is, by the way, for anyone listening, not a legal thing to do, to go out and try and run deer down outside of hunting season, so you can get a little chislic party going.
Who's going to know?
Who's going to know?
I was kind of curious.
That's why you have the old truck.
Man, that's nuts. I mean, the number of questions flooding into my mind right now, the things I've never considered. But it does make perfect sense.
Yep.
Got a hankering for some venison. What month is it? Damn it!
Right?
Load up the Tacoma.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Freezers are probably getting empty right about now, coming around, and just a few months away now.
Yeah, damn straight.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Alcohol, as we probably all know, makes you dehydrated, but that's not all it does. It depletes your body of other things. And it's funny, everybody's got a hangover cure. Everyone's got something they turn to for a hangover. If you've got something special, feel free to share it with us, 651-989-ROCK, talk and or text. Let us know what your hangover cure is. But generally speaking, a lot of us crave meat, salt, and carbs. There's an amino acid in meat that helps your liver break down the toxins from alcohol. Carbs get the blood sugar back up. I mean, there's a reason for this. Your body is actually telling you. So, like my wife and I, for years, it's real quick. Just go get a McDonald's, a quarter pounder and fries and a Coke, and then you're good to go.
Something
It seems to do
greasy.
the job.
Yeah,
the salt, you crave it because you're dehydrated. And that doesn't just mean you need water. You're low on electrolytes, and sodium is a pretty big one. So salty, I always think salty first for everything when I'm hungover. My first thought is, I can't get enough chips. I can't get enough French fries. I'm just dying for it. But meat and eggs, as I said, they have this amino acid that helps your liver break down toxic byproducts of alcohol. Those toxins are what make you feel sweaty and nauseous.
Okay.
So it's not the alcohol, it's the toxins in the alcohol. That's the justification I
So
use.
drink as much alcohol as you want, just leave out the toxins.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Toxin-free alcohol.
I'll have the toxin-free alcohol, please. Which one is that?
That's why cold pizza is just perfect.
It is good. I'll
Got
tell you,
all the elements.
I found the hangover cure. I found it just in the last year, and I went, son of a gun, and it's any food you want. Any food laying around that has THC in it.
Oh, really?
Boom, hangover gone. But in booze school, when I was in booze school, they taught me that fresh squeezed orange juice, it can't be the pasteurized. Even the stuff that says that's simply orange or it's 100% orange juice, it can't be pasteurized. It has to be freshly squeezed orange juice, which makes that difficult because you're not going to want to do that with a hangover. But they told me that I'm not going to make the screwdriver joke where you put the vodka in it, but if you drink freshly squeezed orange juice, it contains the same sugars, I guess, that are in alcohol. I don't really remember. I was hungover that morning at booze school. But they said that tricks your body into thinking that you're still drinking. So it gives you a little hair of the dog without the hair of the dog.
Your body's an idiot.
So
Mine is.
Isn't that a John Mayer song? Your body is an idiot.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Booze school?
Yeah, booze. Well, it's court-ordered when you've misbehaved. Sometimes regarding booze, they ask you to go to booze school.
I thought you had been going. It was like a bartending class.
Oh,
I was literally like, really?
So you think that when you go to booze school, they're going to be like, you shouldn't drink, it's bad. Mom, all over again in your teenage years. But really, they taught me a lot about how to drink booze responsibly, how to be hungover responsibly.
How to get hammered more smartly and intelligently.
Right, exactly. I became a better boozer.
Did you ever take advantage of that tip? And have you ever gone with fresh squeezed orange juice to see how it made you feel?
No, because I get up and I'm super hungover. Guess what you don't have? Oranges.
Yeah, you don't
and
have
guess what
oranges
you
laying
don't
around.
want to do?
Yeah.
Squeeze them if you do have them. So no, I haven't tried it, but that's... this guy was a professional drunk for a long time, all sobered up, and he swore by it.
Well, they do. I mean, alcohol does make your blood sugar plummet, and so that's why you crave carbs. Your carbs are you want to bring it back up. But if all you eat is carbs, that's bad because then it just plummets again later on. So you got to find some protein in
That's
there.
what my
apparently.
giant plate of hash browns isn't to getting the trick done,
Not-
because that
not on
is my
its own.
go-to.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Really?
Right? A giant plate. That's a good one.
Yeah.
With a bloody?
Well, I
Maybe,
mean,
I don't.
that's how they get the vegetables, right?
Oh, it's boozing time.
I've mentioned it before, but the worst hangover of my life, which lasted 2 full days, all I ate for 2 days was toast with nothing on, just dry toast. It's the only thing I could imagine sitting in my system and staying there.
That's hungover, brother.
It is real hungover. That's that was the bottle of Jägermeister hangover. The only time I've ever had Jägermeister, and I drank a whole bottle of it.
Yikes.
My ears just started ringing when you said that.
It did me in. And it did me in. And by the way, interesting. You ever had this happen? Have you ever had a time released drunk and hangover? Because here's my point. I must have eaten something that day or that evening. I drank so much Jägermeister, but did not feel drunk at all. Okay. Like, and to the point where I went to bed going, man, I'm just like barely buzzed. That stuff's not. And then I passed out. And I woke up after about 3 hours and was in hell. Like, I skipped the part where I was like, yeah, and I literally was completely lucid. I remember everything about it. And then I woke up after just a few hours and then was for 2 full days just completely hungover.
Straight from sober to hungover.
Yeah, no, I missed the drunk,
Wow.
but I drank enough, but I somehow missed the fun part.
I wonder what's going on there.
Was it Yeg and like Red Bull or some kind of energy drink, or was this old enough that it was just straight Yeg?
It was straight Jägermeister, but with the occasional Beck's beer as well. It was a weird night. I never had either. It was like, let's get drunk like we're in Germany, apparently, and so we did. And man, was it problematic.
Were you drinking angry? Were you angry?
No,
Were you pissed off?
I was having a great time. I was trying to be charming. There were girls there. It was fun.
Okay, all right. I just know some old guys that will just sit around and they just are angry all night and they drink a case of beer and then they wake up a little hungover and start drinking again. And I thought, did you even get drunk? Where was the happy, fun drunk part? Like, on the 8th beer to the 14th beer. But that is weird.
It was really strange. It was it's like you just walk out and you play the encore and you're like, where's the show? Where's the set? What happened? I'm covered in sweat and I didn't have any fun getting there. It was terrible.
Damn that gig.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I guess technically Zepp and I are Gen Xers. Tony, you're just on the other side of the boomer line.
I'm on the cusp.
But I always feel like I'm more of a boomer just because I was raised in a much older family with older siblings. But that's neither here nor there. Let me ask you this. Gen X guys, anytime you talk to them and when people get polls going, absolutely say we have the best music. Any generation, it's ours. The 4 best Gen X dad rock bands, because we're now dad rock to the younger guys. You look at a millennial, they look at us like, yeah, whatever, dad rock. The big 4, loudwire.com says these are the big 4 for Gen X rock fans. Tell me what you think. Aerosmith, AC/DC, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses.
Can't argue it.
Yeah,
I know. What's the last time we had one of these where you went, yeah, that's it. That clicks all the boxes.
I might pull one out and put another one in, but I can't argue this, and that sounds pretty good to me. I'll take it. Aerosmith, AC/DC, Van Halen, and GNR. Yeah.
I have spent a whole lot of time with Aerosmith and AC/DC in my life. A lot of time with Van Halen, and a pretty good amount with Guns N' Roses. Only because with Guns N' Roses, the Appetite all day long. The Illusion records I was hot and cold with, and I literally never listened to much after that. Van Halen, though, a lot. AC/DC and Aerosmith, my God, I mean, countless hours. Yeah, kind of hard to. But then let's go back a little bit. They did a big 4 for boomer dad rock: Beatles, Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Stones. Now, if you remove the Eagles from that list and put in, for me personally, going back, because I love the Beatles, I love Led Zeppelin, I love the Rolling Stones. Eagles, I like the Eagles. I don't love the Eagles. I saw that list and I thought, for me personally, bands from that era, I could put in the Faces, I could put in Free, I could go a little later in the game and put in Tom Petty. But Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and the Stones to me are sort of givens. I don't know how you get any of those off the boomer list. Who am I forgetting? If you want to replace the Eagles, because if you like me want to replace the Eagles, who do you go with?
The
I think
Who.
it's got to be ABBA. I mean, The Who.
You know what?
I sneezed. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, maybe The Who. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
To that response, I'll say, oh, yeah, duh. Yeah,
I know,
obviously The Who.
I know, but I want an American band on there. I'm a homer, I want one on there and the Eagles just on album sales alone, and longevity, and
Sure.
they reinvented themselves. Like Led Zeppelin, they played around with different styles, and I guess the Beatles did as well, and maybe even the Stones. But I'm comfortable with that. Here's what it is: boomers, Gen Xer bands. One just led into I wouldn't say that Aerosmith, AC/DC are better than the Eagles and Led Zeppelin, but I would say they complemented them. They were part of that evolution of rock. It was only till we got to the millennials that we were let down, that it became something absurd and whiny. And, oh, look at this, AC/DC, party, right? Led Zeppelin, party on. Nirvana. I'm not going to kill myself today. I'll wait until tomorrow. Sing me through it. I mean, just a lot of whiner rock in the 90s, which, by the way, bought me plenty of Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Foo Fighters. I've seen in concert many, many times. Love me some 90s rock, but it is whiner rock, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was. They were sitting around going, "Well, what terrain hasn't been covered?" And they're listening to all their favorite records from childhood, and they're like, "There's not a lot of whining in the original rocker. Not right. Yeah, let's see what happens with that." And boy, did that take off like a
self-loathing, feeling sorry for ourselves. Yeah. They nailed it. Yeah,
just like it was like Mount St. Helens erupted, and it was called grunge, and washed us over with whining ash. Bastards.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Craig Gass in studio with us.
Like everyone I do an impression of has tried to meet me. Mm-hmm. And it's led to crazy conversations and then private stories from people. Did I tell you the story about that Alec Baldwin told me about how he almost got in a fist fight with Al Pacino?
I don't recall that one, no.
Alec Baldwin and I worked on a TV show called Las Vegas together.
Okay.
And every day, Alec Baldwin would come up to my trailer and knock on my door and go, "Can I hear some more impressions? I love your impressions. Do you mind if I come in and listen to some impressions?" And I'd always have people visiting me, and I go, "Yeah, hey, this is my buddy Steve. He's visiting from Minneapolis. Can you do your Tony Bennett for my buddy?" And Alec Baldwin does amazing impressions.
He does. He's really good.
He does an impression of Tony Bennett where you go, "What the hell does Tony Bennett sound like?" And he'll grab an empty martini glass and go, "Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I used to date Marilyn Monroe."
Yeah. Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe was a real foxy lady. I once made love to Marilyn for up to 12 hours until the paramedics came along and said, "Tony, she's gone." The material was so dark.
Yeah.
And then he would have me do impressions for him, and he kept saying, "I love your Al Pacino. I got to tell you a crazy story about Al Pacino." And then he finally tells me a story that he almost got in a fist fight with Al Pacino because Alec Baldwin starred in a one-man show on Broadway about Al Pacino's life. Mm-hmm. And the problem was that the play was written by a former best friend of Al Pacino's.
Really?
And the former best friend revealed a bunch of personal information that Al Pacino didn't want people to know. Mm-hmm. So Baldwin keeps hearing from people, "Hey, I just ran into Al Pacino. He said the next time he sees you, he's going to kick your ass." And Baldwin keeps hearing all these threatening messages.
Yeah.
And then finally he says, "One day, I'm in my apartment building in Los Angeles. The elevator door opens up. Who's in the elevator? It's Al Pacino, Beverly D'Angelo, and a real estate broker. They're looking for an apartment in my building." He said, as soon as the elevator door opened up, Al Pacino looked at him and went, "Oh, Jesus." Here we go. Here we go. Beverly D'Angelo, no idea what's going on. She jumps off the elevator and goes, "Oh my God, it's Alec. Look who it is. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about you. You're so political. You should be a president or something. Weren't we saying that, Al? Weren't we just saying that?" And he said, Pacino was looking at him going, "Who, this guy? Yeah. You just do anything you want, don't you, Alec? You just do anything you want." Beverly D'Angelo, clueless, goes walking down the hallway with a real estate broker in tow, and Pacino eyeballs him as he walks by him. And Baldwin says, "Al, can I talk to you for 1 second?" And he goes, "What, you got something you got to say to me?" "What do you got to say to me, Alec?" And he goes, "Listen, I know you know about the play." And he goes, "Play? You were in a play. Tell me about your fruity little play. I'm dying to hear about your little play." He goes, "Listen, I know you know about the play. I just want to tell you a few things. Number one, I wasn't doing it out of disrespect for you. I didn't know any of the details. Number two, I only agreed to do the show for 3 weeks. And number three, and this is the truth, I've never had more fun than I did playing you, and that's the truth." And he said, Pacino looked at him and said, "Alec, how in the world can you have fun being me? Because I'm miserable." God. And Baldwin said he just put his arms around him, hugged him, and Pacino went, "Yeah, Jesus Christ. And they worked it out. The hug broke the tension.
Hugged it out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta say, for anyone listening, this is one man I'm talking to, Craig Gass. I'm fascinated. It's anybody that comes to see you live will see this. What I'm seeing, which is you're doing these voices. They're spectacular, truly. But it's in your eyes. I mean, you don't look like Baldwin or Pacino, but when you're doing Baldwin or Pacino, I see them both. Your face contorts and you go into those characters. How much of that are you even, when you're working on a new voice, are you consciously thinking about how the facial expressions and any physicality, or is it just so far down the road you don't even think about it, it just happens? Because I just watched your face morph back and forth.
I think of the person and their physical being, and I feel like the voice just comes out of that.
Wow.
And it's because when I was growing up, I would do impressions for my family that involved no voices, because my family is deaf. Everyone in my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, they're all completely deaf.
You are the sole person of your immediate family with hearing.
Yes, and I couldn't learn how to talk from my family. I learned how to talk by watching TV and copying all the voices I heard on TV, which, by the way, when I opened for Metallica, the drummer was the guy who got me the gig.
Yeah.
And he walked me in. He said, "Come say hi to the guys." And he walked me into the dressing room, and it was just 3 other Metallica members sitting at a table. And he goes, "Hey, man, this is Craig. This is the guy who does all the voices. And check it out. His whole family is retarded." I go, "They're not retarded.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
they're deaf. What are you talking about?" He's like, "I thought your whole family was retarded." I'm like, "No, they're deaf. They're deaf." But yeah. You come out to New Hope. I'll tell you the uncensored version of that in New Hope.
Of all the stories I've ever heard that I'm not questioning at all, that's number one on the list.
But
that checks out.
But when I do the voices, I think of the person, and everybody has a different. It's like Tom Arnold is nervous.
Yeah,
and,
right. Sure.
He gets very. He's doing a lot of cocaine, and then like Adam Sandler is like he doesn't make eye contact, and then Al Pacino
will just look right through you. Like he's looking in your soul, baby.
Yeah. But by the way, Tom Arnold, quickly, I love that guy. He's mad at me because I go to the Super Bowl every year and I get him in trouble. And it's the first time I ever met Tom Arnold. I prank called him, and someone told me he was staying at a hotel in town, and I was like, "Really?" I called the hotel and I said, "Hi, Tom Arnold," and they said, "Okay, just one moment." They put me through.
Yeah.
I had just started in radio, so I didn't record this. I just did it for myself. Tom Arnold picks up the phone and goes, "Hello," and I said, "Tom, it's Sam Kinison." Sam Kinison had been dead for 6 years at this point. My God. And Tom Arnold goes, "Hey, buddy, how you been? Good to talk to you." I go, "Tom, I need some help, buddy. I need you to help me in the afterlife." And he goes, "Whatever you need, buddy. Just tell me what you want me to do." And I said, "Well, I need some cocaine. And here's what I need you to do. Just follow my instructions. First of all, I need you to front me some cash because I don't have any cash. And then I want you to get the cocaine. I want you to get on a plane. I want you to fly back to Los Angeles. And when you get back to Los Angeles, I want you to drive to the house of Jerry Lewis. And when you see Jerry Lewis, I want you to take the cocaine and put it in the small pocket of his pants, and I'll have it when he gets here in 3 weeks." Oh! And then I stopped and said, "Hey, Tom, I'm sorry. My name's Craig Gass. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm a huge fan of yours." And he said, "Man, that impression is so good that I need to call my sponsor. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. I need to call my sponsor right now. You're scaring me." And so do you have any tapes or anything? And I dropped off a VHS tape at his hotel. He called me a week later and said, "I think you're very talented, and if you ever need any help with anything, I'm going to give you my contact information." I've never called him, but I've taken his impression, and I go to the Super Bowl every year where I'll broadcast from the Super Bowl with multiple stations and say, "Hey, we're live at the Super Bowl here, and a lot of celebrities are coming into town. I was actually at a Cocaine Anonymous meeting last night with Brett Favre." I probably shouldn't say that out loud. Brett's a big cokehead. and I'll just start naming random sports people.
Yeah, right.
And every year, the internet will attack Tom Arnold
of
on
course.
Twitter. And Tom Arnold will individually fight everybody back and go, hey, did you notice that also Sam Kinison was there? That guy's been dead for 10 years, you idiot. That wasn't me. That was a comedian named Craig Gass. I wish he would stop. But yeah.
Beautiful.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
NFL.
All these nicknames.
They all have their little nicknames.
The KQ Morning Show presents...
What did you call me?
What'd you call me?
You heard me.
Nicknames, they stick with you, and sometimes they're embarrassing, but not for NFL players. It makes them legendary. So here's your chance to guess at some NFL players' nicknames. What'd you call me?
I like it. What'd you call me NFL version? We've got a couple people ready to rock. Tony, who's contestant number one?
Number one is Michael from lovely Hastings.
Michael, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're great, brother. Thank you very much. Michael, give me your favorite band.
You know, it's hard to say, but it's anything from the UK, and I'm down with it.
Fair enough.
Very broad.
That's a lot, yeah.
Let's go Led Zeppelin, though.
An Anglophile, if I've ever heard one. I relate, brother. I relate. Michael, give me your favorite team, any sport.
That'd be the Twinkies.
The Twinkies. I was hoping for Arsenal. I thought it would just make more sense that way. All right, let's do this, Michael. Are we going back and forth, or are we just going one contestant at a time?
Let's go back and forth.
Let's go back and forth.
Let's go back and forth.
With that in mind, let's bring on contestant number 2. Who do we have, Tony?
Number 2 is Berrien from Oak Grove. Cool name.
Berrien, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Give me your favorite band.
My favorite band, I could say Iron Maiden. I jam out to them pretty awesome.
Right on. Favorite team, any sport.
It's got to be a Vikings.
There you go. I like it. All right. Well, we're going to play What'd You Call Me? What's it called?
What'd You Call Me?
Yeah, What'd You Call Me? NFL version. So, all right, Michael's up first. Tony, take it away.
All right, fellas. First up is Joe Green, Steelers beast defensive lineman. Joe Green, was he known as A, pristine Joe Green, B, mean Joe Green, or C, obscene Joe Green?
Mean Joe Green.
Michael coming in strong.
Right
on, Michael.
That's exactly right. Well played, sir. All right, Berrien, you are up.
Berrien. Andy Dalton, journeyman quarterback now with Carolina. Andy Dalton, is he known as A, the Ragin' Red Rash, B, Ginger Grant, or C, the Red Rifle?
I would say A.
I'm sorry, the Ragin' Red Rash.
We're back to bad first dates.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Might have some locker room
That's all
problems.
I'll think of him now. Who's he with now?
He's Carolina.
Carolina.
Right. He's the Raging Red Rash around these parts. There's your triple R. All right, back to Michael.
Michael, Rob Gronkowski, New England tight end, had a cup of coffee with Tampa Bay. Is Rob Gronkowski known as A, Gronk, B, Bobby G Spot, or C, Robapalooza?
It's A, but I like your B.
I like your B as well.
I mean, if you work with a Bobby today and don't call him Bobby G Spot, come on. Hey, my boy, Bobby G Spot, and just watch him give you that look like, what the F did you just say to me?
Wow,
it's Gronk. He'll go, huh?
Gronk just pawned. All right, Berrien, let's go.
Berrien, our Minnesota Vikings defensive line of the 60s and 70s era, were they known as A, Bruise Crews, B, Purple People Eaters, or C, Laceration Nation?
This one is very easy. It is B, the Purple People Eater.
Yes, it is very easy.
Did you say Booze Cruise? That was the one on Minnetonka, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought that was the Coos Cruise.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
All the above.
Hey, by the way, real quick, that was on Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
And Rosemary and I went out like a month ago or a month and a half ago and rented this little electric boat on basically a floating golf cart.
Yeah.
And we were on Lake Minnetonka, and it was beautiful. It was, staggering.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, I went, oh, my God, this is where that Vikings cruise happened. I didn't even live here then. Not even close. But I was like, this is where that happened. All right. All right, Michael, round 3.
Michael, Sean Merriman, was he known as A, Lights Out, B, Night Night Time, or C, Noodles?
I'm going to go with A.
Yes, lights out merriment.
National Pasta Day.
Man, noodles.
Noodles.
I had a drum tech for years named Noodles.
Yeah?
That's appropriate, I think.
Why was he called Noodles?
Very curly hair.
Oh.
And someone called him Noodles, and it stuck.
Yeah.
And I may have told this story. We were at a gig in Germany, and a guy walked into the production office with a package, and he said, "I have a delivery for hair noodles." I was like, hair noodles? And, of course, the fact that it was the
right,
hair.
He's right on both
He was
counts.
saying hair, H-E-R-R, but, of course, it was. And for the rest of his stint, he was known as hair noodles.
Yes.
All right, Barry, in round 3.
Berrien, Troy Polamalu, safety with the Steelers and Head & Shoulders spokesperson. Troy Polamalu, was he known as A, the Samoan headhunter, B, the Samoa constrictor, or C, Tootsie?
I'm going to go with A.
Yeah, he was. Best ever played the position.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, strong words.
Oh. There is a highlight reel of him. They don't repeat any plays. It's just one. Are you effing kidding me? Play after another.
Yeah.
It's 45 minutes long.
He was
Look it
insane.
up.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. How many per contestant are we going to have here, Tone?
We have 4 more left, so
All right, let's
2
go.
apiece.
Let's go, Michael.
Michael, next up is Bill Parcells, 2-time Super Bowl champion, former coach, player, and executive. Bill Parcells, was he known as A, chicken and a biscuit, B, big tuna, or C, whale ass?
I'm going to go with B.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
However.
Yeah, big tuna.
However.
In that context, all 3 would I could buy. I've never thought about big tuna until right now. I'm like, yeah, really? What the hell are we doing calling that guy big tuna? All right. Berrien, you're up.
Berrien, the late O.J. Simpson, Buffalo running back, newsmaker. O.J., was he known as A, stabby, B, B, double homicide Clyde, or C, juice?
Oh, my gosh. Can I pick all 3? I'll go with C.
Good call.
Double homicide Clyde. I got a new name for Dad.
Man alive.
There was a bar out east years ago that was called Stabbies. I remember I took a picture of it, sent it to my buddy, and said, "I just ran into Simpson."
Oh my God, that was a good Simpsons moment with the mafia guys. I'm feeling stabby. He's getting ready to go cut somebody. All right, Michael, here we go.
Michael, Ahmad Gardner, defensive back for the Jets, is he known as A, Sauce Gardner, B, Dip Gardner, or C, Goop Gardner?
Could you repeat this for me one more time, please?
Sure. Ahmad Gardner, known as A, Sauce Gardner, B, Dip Gardner, or C, Goop Gardner?
A, Sauce.
Yes, Sauce Gardner.
I've never known that man's first name.
No?
Neither did I. I was surprised.
It never even occurred to me Sauce was a nickname. It's just such a, it's just there. All right, Barry, and last one.
Berrien, Ed Jones, Dallas Cowboy defensive lineman back in the day.
Okay.
Ed Jones, was he known as A, too tall, B, too scoops, or C, too sensitive?
I'm going to go with A, too tall.
Yes, he was.
Scoops, that got me.
He loved raisins.
Remember when he went pro boxer there for a couple
yeah.
Then back to the Cowboys. But like right there, probably in the prime of his career, he decided he was going to box. And
Oh, Berrien, strong finish, but my man, that first one tripped you up because Michael ran the table. Rarely does 4 out of 5 not win the day, but Michael, great job going 5 for 5. Michael, you have Iron Maiden tickets. Gentlemen, excellent effort on both your parts. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Have fun at the show. Man, that was good stuff. Ed, 2 scoops.
2 scoops, man.
That's someone should just come along and take that. Yeah. What's his nickname? 2 scoops. I can't get enough raisins in the morning. They call me 2 scoops.
2 scoops.
He's fantastic.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
35% of people say somebody has walked in on them during sex. I'm sure it's happened to even more than 35% of us, and we would love to hear if it's happened to you. There's already some posts on the KQRS Facebook page where people are sharing their stories. Teresa wrote, yes, both daughters walked in on us. One at a young age, didn't have a clue, but the other daughter was over 20 and was mortified.
Oh, yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. I bet she didn't linger.
The Gormans had a rule in our house, which was not only do you not open mom and dad's bedroom door, but if the door is shut, you don't even knock. Like if it was open, go ahead. Yeah. But if that door was shut, it was just like a hard, fast rule. It was like, don't even knock unless it's an absolute emergency. And one day it dawned on me, like, what are they actually doing in there that we can't knock on their door? And I never asked, and I don't want to know.
All right, never tested it.
Yeah.
No, God, no. The only time I remember, there was only one time. And I told you this story. The only time anyone I ever knocked on that door that I'm aware of is my brother Dave knocked on the door to tell my mom that I had a tick on my penis.
Yeah, well.
That's a true story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an emergency, isn't it? I mean, it's not, but it is.
This is exactly what he said. Knock on the door. Yes. Mom, I don't know how to say this. That's what he said. I don't know how to say this, but Steve has a tick on his penis. Yeah, and it was like, well, you said it. You said it just right. Right. The only time I ever knocked on that door to my knowledge. And but yeah, that was important. You know what with Rocky Mountain spotted fever, all the rage in the mid 70s. This was an important thing. But yes, never walked in on my parents. Only once in my personal Gorman history. Young Connell, probably 3. Walked in right in the middle, just boom, opened the door, steps in, and I believe what he was told was, "Oh, we were just wrestling."
Yeah, that's a popular one, wrestling. Yeah, because I mean, when we think about our parents, they're constantly wrestling, aren't they? Mom and dad get out there in the living room floor.
Sure, working on holds.
Yeah, right. He gets on all fours. You put the arm around, check the oil. I know my brother walked in on my mom and dad. That was the old dad, the awkward moment at breakfast the next day where dad was like, Chris, I could have shot you. I'm like, what is going on? Chris, like, I don't know. I think they were arguing. And then, years later, we connected the dots, kind of like I did years later after I walked in on my grandmother giving her guy friend in the neighborhood a mouth party.
Grandma!
Yeah.
Oh, Grandma.
Saw it. I mean, just dead black, triple X right there. Just saw it. Not like the back of her head, saw the front of her head.
She look up and give you the thumbs up?
She never knew. They never knew because it was they had one of those sliding doors in a trailer park there in Mechanicsburg. Yeah. And the sliding door was open just thusly, and I crept back there and I just peeked in, and that's what I saw, and then I just walked away and fixed myself a bowl of cereal and just buried that one deep until I started a radio career.
I honestly thought you were just saying, fix myself a boiler maker.
Yeah, I wanted to.
I couldn't reach that cabinet, so I went for what I could get.
I've already made the horrible mistake of imagining sweet Gertrude Gorman in a similar situation, and now I'm just haunted for the day.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a good one. But no, the kids never walked in on us. So that never happened with me. But it did. There was a thing for a while when I was living with all the guys in the big house. Everybody goes through that phase in their early 20s, and you're in rut. You're just constantly doing it, where everyone thought it was funny if someone was having sex to burst into their room, grab the guy by the ankles, and pull him out into the hallway or living room.
Oh, my God.
Like
that is pretty funny.
That was a fun one for a while. So you'd start piling furniture in front of your door, to try and prevent them from coming in.
Yeah, I was thinking that's something that really should only need to happen once for you to recognize drastic measures need to be taken ahead of time.
All right. Then we had that one roommate that would never get laid, just couldn't, to save his life, just couldn't make it happen. So a few of us in the house would let him watch from the closet. We'd be like, all right, you can post up in the closet and watch if you want.
Oh, my God.
So that was consensual. I guess that's not walking in. That's lurking. Pat, wherever you're at out there. I think he's a school administrator.
Great.
Wherever he is right now, his shoulders just flinch like someone hit him in the back with an ice pick.
Right. Right.
Don't say my name with that story.
Yeah. I slept with 251 guys trying to set a record.
Well, Ryder, now that you've confessed that, Now that you've confessed that, you must have any walking in on Jim.
I haven't been walked in on the one, and I know that he's listening right now because he's texting in. The one time that I was close to walking in on my dad, I had gone home sick in the middle of the day, and him and my stepmom had decided to have a nooner. I came home, and the garage door was locked.
Oh.
And it never was, the door between the garage and the house.
Yeah.
And I knew what was going on, but I had to throw up so bad, so I just unlocked the door, went directly to the basement, and puked. And he later, I don't remember if he knew exactly what was going on, but he said something about the door being locked, and I was too sick to care.
Man.
I have puked in the back alley behind the Uptown Bar.
Oh, it happened a lot.
Jeez, a lot of guys and a lot of puking. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Oh,
Too sick to care. Ryder's version of that Dead Kennedys classic. Too drunk to. Ryder's dad Jim is texting in right now, and he wrote, "Walked in on by the Minneapolis police at Minnehaha Falls parking lot.
Oh.
In the back of a 65 Ford wagon."
Of course he knows what car it is.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, that's right. That reminds me. Yeah, we've all, I mean, I don't know if we all have, but you ever see the spotlight come in the window when you're parked out there somewhere trying to have a little fun? That happened to me once.
Big flashlight.
Yeah, the police officer. It was awfully nice about it. Just, I wanted to move it out. And he told me I was parked along some train tracks near where we're at now, around the U of M somewhere. Went down by the train tracks. He goes, "There's a lot of people that hang out down here you don't want to meet. I wouldn't park here." I'm like, "Yes, sir." Moving along.
On the KQRS Facebook page, Michelle wrote, "Yep, we thought my teenage stepson was gone for the evening. Getting busy in the living room chair.
Yes.
He walks back in because he forgot something. I'm sure he was mortified seeing his stepmom buck naked. Couldn't look at him for weeks. After that, he always announced when he entered a room." There's an entire section of the internet devoted to that very thing where stepmoms are concerned, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But this was not one of those moments. This was in reality. Wow. I'm trying to think. Nothing to your stories up about like pulling a guy out of his room. But we did have friends in our high school. The Schaus brothers, they had the house that you would go to on a Friday and a Saturday night. It was just, that's where anything went at the Schaus house. It was a legendary spot. And there were many, many times at the Schaus house when you'd be, there's like 3 bedrooms in the back of the house, and you'd open a door and you wouldn't see one couple look up. You'd see like 4 couples look up. Shut the door. It was just, small town living, man. You just got to get where you can, whenever you can. And I had one situation there with my high school girlfriend, and it was seconds before it could have been horrific. Door opened, and we were able to play it off like, no, we weren't about to do anything untoward. No, not a chance. And it was the one time, unlike all the other times when it was someone else we knew, it was Mrs. Schaus. It was Nita. Opened the door, and my God, same thing. I had a hard time making eye contact with her for like 6 months, only because of what she almost walked in on. and something tells me that Dirty Mind from Prince was on the stereo at the time. I may be just adding that for fun, but a lot of Prince played in that house in the day.
The Schaus house.
The Schaus house the Schaus house had the greatest quarters table ever created. You could play a game of quarters on their kitchen table. The bounce was exquisite. Just it was like championship level quarters table. Yeah, a lot going on there.
Yeah, because we've all played on some dead tables, where the quarter just thunk,
No, this was like lively. A spring-loaded kitchen table.
That's a good one.
Absolutely fantastic. A couple cops in Georgia came up on a car in Livonia, Georgia the other day. There were 2 women who were in the car, and the story was they had just been arguing while driving, had a big blow up, and then they made up and decided, well, let's just pull off at this exit for a quick makeup session right here on a patch of grass at the Raceway gas station parking lot.
Well, when the mood strikes.
Yeah, the mood struck, and they police walked in and they found 2 women right there, and they arrested them and charged them with public indecency because, yes, they were in a public parking lot, and yes, no one was wearing pants. They took the Livonia Police Department took to social media to remind couples, if you have the sudden urge to reconcile a relationship, get a room or go home.
No.
Come on, I think love wins should be the message of that.
I
of that.
I've seen several, I believe they're probably homeless couples, getting up with their get down out on like West River Parkway, especially in the spring, you know. It's a spring, we're all in rut, and I was out there and just like, are you kidding me?
Well, they get frisky in the spring.
Yeah, they do.
Sure they do. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Terry wrote, was with my now wife, but at the time she was still married to her ex.
Whoops.
I was able to hide, and she got him out of the house, but never has my heart been pounding so hard. Oh.
Yeah.
Such a close call.
Yeah, I went
That's
out the side
exactly
door
what that would
one
be.
time. Yeah, we didn't get caught in the act, but heard him pull into the driveway. Yeah, that was that'll get you. And the tense part was, she said, get in the walk-in closet. You know, and I'll go downstairs and head him off, and then you come down and then get out the side door. I'm upstairs. I can't get out the window and fall down. It just wasn't one of those window setups. And the entire time I'm in the walk-in closet, looking at his suits, by the way, I'm thinking to myself, I hear the bedroom door open. That was it. And I thought, was that her or is that him? And so I was in the starting blocks position, literally. I thought if he opens the door, he's not going to expect me in his closet. So I'm going to charge through him and out the door and down the street, catch him by surprise. But it was her. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I was getting ready to bolt is what I was doing. She's like, well, come on, he's in the basement. And that was the last time I ever messed around with a married woman.
I'm admiring his wardrobe is what I'm doing.
Holy cow. That
Seeing
was
how big his suits are.
My heart's thumping just thinking about that one.
Tony never walked in on anybody?
Yeah, on a cousin who, was alone, but with a magazine that went flying up into the air. That was more embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
Does that count? I don't know.
Sure
Yes,
it
it
does.
Definitely counts.
Wally on the text line. He's looks like he's going to win the day with this one. I never walked in on my mom and dad, but I did find the SD card of them at Swing Stock.
Oh.
Okay.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
A 7-year-old Chinese boy has been complaining for 2 years. Now think about this. When you're 7 and you file an official complaint with your parents at 5 and they don't deal with it till you're 7, that's like 100 years.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old and then a 6-year-old and then you're 7, and this was his complaint. Things just smell bad. Everywhere I go, I have a bad smell. And his parents are like, okay, well, deal with it, kid.
Yeah,
2 years.
Clean up your room.
2 years, the kid's been walking around with a bad smell. So, I just picture a kid. He looks like he's got a little. Robin Williams said Queen Elizabeth always looks like she has a little dog poop on her upper lip. That smell, that face. 2 years, they could never figure out what it was. They couldn't smell what it was. The 7-year-old was unable to describe the smell. They had decided, his parents decided, it's just making this up. This is make-believe. Because, that's what kids do. They carry around a 2-year-long bad smell make-believe. It started getting worse. They finally took him to a doctor. They examined his nostrils and were like, he's got a screw stuck in his left nostril.
Oh, my gosh.
A metal screw. Been up there for over 2 years.
Well, that was his
rusty.
fault.
There's a mysterious black mass in his nose. The first thing you do when your kid is telling you everything smells bad, look up the nose.
Right.
I just assume there's something up there.
Feel free to throw that piece of information in there. Things smell bad. Oh, and by the way, I put a screw up my nose.
Well, there is that. To me, parenting toddlers is just a series of checking holes in their body for stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to go somewhere. Right. They're going to put it in their mouth. They're going to put it in their nose. They're going to put it in their ear. They're going to put it up their butt. Real simple.
Check all the holes before they put them to bed at night.
Yeah. There's 2 dice with this game. There's only 1 die here. Where is it? Roll them over.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. That's just where stuff goes. And speaking of putting things up your 6.
Huh? What?
Right.
I'm making the leap. At a music festival, in England, 2 gentlemen were found trying to sneak in some drugs. That's kind of a common thing. You're going to go out to a festival, you're going to rage. Yeah. It's an EDM festival, and you're thinking, it might get more fun. This is in England. What would make it more fun is if we brought in some ketamine. So they brought in some ketamine. 2 gentlemen. They brought in ketamine that they placed into Kinder eggs. You familiar with Kinder eggs?
I've heard of them.
It's like a German, like a toy. It's a treat. It's a chocolate egg, but there's a toy in the middle, and it comes. Right. It's just like the size. It's like a smaller egg. It looks just like a real egg, but it's a little smaller than, say, an egg you'd buy at the store.
Okay.
Only a little smaller. They had 2 Kinder eggs filled with ketamine, and they had them stuffed up the bums, as they say.
That's one way to get the job done.
And if you're going to a music festival, you got to be thinking, well, there's no way they're going to find these.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to see sniffer dogs at the gates.
Oh, what a lousy job. I want to be the bomb dog, not the sniffer dog that has to sniff people's butts.
Man, no kidding.
Drugs? Are you kidding me?
No kidding.
Of course, the bomb dog comes with its own
Bomb dog's got his own situation, but the sniffer dog for drugs, you're just harshing people's mellow left and right. You're just sorry, man. I'm ruining your day.
Let them have their freaking drugs at the thing. They're not going in there to sell them to kids on the street. They're just going in there to try and kill themselves.
And I mean, the name of the festival, it's a festival called the Daresbury Music Festival. Dare is it's the first part of the word, dare. Yeah. I dare you to put Kinder eggs filled with ketamine up your 6. Yeah, dare accepted. Let's go.
Derriere, Dingleberry, Daresbury.
There's a double dog joke in there somewhere on the dare. I can't quite get my head around it just yet.
So they had to pull the Kinder eggs out of the...
They pulled the Kinder eggs out, and
that would be the embarrassing part. Can we get that out?
Of course it would be.
Give us a little push.
If I'm going to be busted at a music festival by a German Shepherd sniffing around, I want to, you just, hopefully it's a bag filled with white powder. Yeah. That looks cool. Or it's a pipe. A Kinder egg up my 6.
And then
really, it's full of drugs, I swear. Really? It just, And
then after that, you have to suffer the humiliation sober.
Yeah, of course.
One of the more clever ones that I've heard from some young folks here recently was a lot of these outdoor festivals, it's dirt, it's ground, it's grass, it's whatever. Think of Somerset or something out like that. Yeah. And they wanted their drugs inside. So they went there when the venue was empty. A couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah, right.
Something, and buried it in the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, and then came back for it.
That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one. I was like, how did we not? I thought we thought of everything.
I know of a festival down south where the exact same thing happens every year. I know people who go, they don't bring their drugs, they just bring bottles of booze and they bury it 4-6 weeks before the festival. It's in a public park and they just go find a spot. Yeah. And then
impressed.
And then they got their hooch waiting for them.
Hot damn.
Yeah, those people are called alcoholics.
It's awfully embarrassing when Chauncey gets here in the morning and digs up my booze in the parking lot.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
If you're looking for somebody to love, maybe don't limit yourself to just, the people at work, the people in your neighborhood, the people. Don't limit yourself to the people.
Really?
Maybe look beyond. Maybe think about.
Is this a Wyoming thing again?
Maybe think about alien life.
Oh,
maybe
well
think
said.
Maybe think about crossing those lines that we have put up ourselves. The false construct of who can fully understand us.
Hey, who started that World War? That was Zepp dating an alien chick, and it went south as they all do.
Now we all know that Anthony Lee, our dear friend, would be the first guy on the alien craft should it land and ask if anyone wants to take a ride.
Someday.
I mean, that sounds like a trap, dude. Don't you want to know a little bit about them first?
No, what do they have for snacks?
That's pretty much it.
Is what they have for snacks.
What's the one snack? What's the number one snack? Like where you just go like, oh, there's just no turning this down.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its, yeah. Especially if you could get like Cheez-Its from the 90s before they messed with the formula. Oh, man, can you imagine? Is there a snack an alien could offer you, Tony Lee, that you'd say, you know what, I'm not getting on that ship if this is all you have?
Onion dip.
Really?
Yeah, I got to draw the line there.
Just
adios, extraterrestrial.
You know what my problem with onion dip is? There's never enough. Yeah, you heard me. I'll do a whole tin of that. You get those cans of onion dip. That's why I don't ever have it, because I can't stop. It's a real problem with me. But I'm asking because apparently we may be a little closer to alien involvement than you may realize. A TV interview has gone down. We've got some excerpts. A 73-year-old man named Daryl Anka. Daryl, don't call me Paul Anka, says he has been channeling An entity named Bashar. Bashar is an extraterrestrial from the future.
Right. If I was going to make up an alien name, it might be Bashar.
It certainly could be.
I'm gonna go down this with my mind open.
Okay, Daryl Anka channeling Bashar. He's working with a documentary filmmaker named Serena DC. She last year, of course, was looking into the existence of alien mummies in Peru. So you know that this is on the up and up.
I'm looking at a picture of one of these. I think I saw this same thing at an antique store in Stillwater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is where they come. Well, Peru, Stillwater, it's a whole route. It's a whole, it's like the old, the Karakoram Highway, the Silk Road in China. And same kind of thing where the alien mummies, they start in Stillwater, they get on the river, next thing you know, they're in Peru.
That makes sense. Invasive species.
Machu Picchu actually translates to Stillwater. Look it up.
I mean, I've never been there, but I've seen the pictures, a National Geographic video. I mean, that doesn't look like something humans would. I mean, that's Machu Picchu. That's some crazy stuff up
the
there.
still waters of the Peruvian Andes. This is all, come on, you can Google it. But anyway, Daryl, don't call me Paul Anka, is channeling Bashar, the alien, and we've got it for you right here.
I'm about to have an interview with an extraterrestrial.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity to allow him to share his message. Shall I let him come through?
Yes. Yes.
Give me just a minute. Oh, let's say good day to you this day of your time. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you, Bashar?
Perfect, thank you. Please, by all means, you may proceed however you wish, but allow us to thank you for the co-creation of this opportunity to exchange ideas and information with you.
Well, there you have it. I stand correct, Tony. I apologize for my skepticism.
I've watched this guy. I've seen several.
You've seen him before?
Of his videos. Oh yeah, he's huge on YouTube and on Reels, and surprisingly articulate and uplifting, and has a fine message for the future. It's fascinating, and he gets billions of people to go to his speaking engagements.
Right. I mean, all the way to the bank, right?
Sometimes he wears a Hawaiian shirt. I'm serious.
I was waiting for him to put one giant long finger that glowed on the tip up and go, but it is nothing like that.
Yeah. So has he channeled this Bashar? You've heard more of this kind of?
Yes.
All right. So
Of
Bashar.
this guy specifically. All you have to do is enter a transcendental state and match the vibration and frequency and channel an interplanetary presence. Boom. It's simple.
So probably an indica then you would recommend to hit that transcendental state.
This guy's pretty funny.
I lost you after the word do. All you have to do, and then you just started speaking Swahili as far as I could tell.
I mean, this guy's getting rich off it. I'm looking at his post. He's got a hell of a poster. Interview with the extraterrestrial.
How much? To attend.
It doesn't say. It's not on the poster.
Right.
You're gonna have
He says the extraterrestrials are trying to help us prevent the loss of our species. They're keeping humanity going. And we did not evolve from apes. It's a whole different setup. He's got a song. He wrote a song called "Having My Alien." That's weird. Oh no, sorry.
Is that what we're listening to right now?
Sorry, that's I'm getting the Anka thing through me. It's a song.
You use a ukulele.
There was some inbreeding here. It says the new NU genetically modified our ancestors to help mankind's evolution. So it's their fault. And they did a heck of a job. I feel like we've really evolved, especially this political season. I feel like we've taken some big step forward.
The interviewer said, I got to spend time with two beings, Daryl, a humble man living a quiet life with his family, and Bashar, a presence full of cosmic wisdom, capable of explaining the intricacies of human history, the universe, and the very fabric of existence. And as you said, Zepp, just printing money.
Yeah, I remember watching the documentary about this years ago. It was a mini series that went on for several seasons. Mork and Mindy. I don't know if you guys.
Yes, an early incarnation. He doesn't use the suspenders anymore, surprisingly.
That's such a trademark, but dated.
A lot of people forget the fact that Mork actually was a spinoff of what show?
Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Sure.
They had an alien in the 50s in Milwaukee,
That's right.
apparently. Go figure.
I remember.
Isn't that crazy?
That was all the talk at grade school the next day when Mork showed up there.
Shazbot.
Shazbot.
Wow,
Nanu.
Nanu. That's exactly it.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Thanks for listening to the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by my number one choice for a Thanksgiving feast, Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes Monday, December 2nd.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.